If you're wondering how you can connect Google Calendar to your AI agents so that they can book appointments and schedule meetings right into your calendar, in this video I'm going to show you how you can create powerful workflows inside our platform that can be connected with both voice and text agent to make them powerful. So right here I have a dentist voice AI agent that I have created for a dentist called Harmony Dental Clinic. This clinic receives a lot of calls every single day of people who just want to schedule meetings and appointments such as teeth whitening and other services that they offer. And this can be a very tedious task that have to be done over and over again, doing the same thing, which is basically answering the phone and creating events inside of Google Calendar. So we're going to be creating two actions that this agent's going to be able to use. And for that, we're going to be using Flow Studio. So in our platform, you want to go here on the left side and click on Flow Studio. This is where you're going to be able to create powerful workflows that connect to your agents. For this case, I'm going to click on New Flow and create a flow from scratch. I'm going to give it the name, Get Google Calendar Availability. So if we think about what actions we're going to need for this agent, we're going to need two actions. The first one is going to be to get the availability from our calendar so that the agent can offer different slots and available times to the user. And our second action is going to be actually booking the appointment inside Google Calendar with the slots that the user chooses. So we're going to start with the first one. Like I said, get Google Calendar availability. And this is what you're going to see when you start a new workflow. First thing you want to do is change the method of your start node, which is get, into post. And the next node is going to be a Google Calendar node that's going to check our calendar for the available slots. For that, we're going to click here on integration actions. We're going to go into calendars and choose on Google Calendar. I'm going to choose get availability, and this node is going to automatically connect to my start node. I'm going to open up this node, and the first thing you're going to be prompted to do is to add a credential. Right now I have already connected the credential to my calendar, but if this is your first time doing this, then you would click on new credential and put in your Gmail or your Google account in this box, hit confirm, and then follow the steps. It's going to be super simple. You're going to get a pop-up window that's going to ask you to log into your account, and with that, now you're going to have access to your calendar through the Flow Studio. So over here we're going to get some options. Right now I'm going to choose a calendar. I'm going to be using main calendar, and I'm going to be able to choose the range of the dates from which I want to get the available time. We have two options here. We can either select it using a picker. That means that we get a little calendar here, or it can be a variable. Why would you want to use a variable? If you want your agent to dynamically choose the dates, the range of dates from which is going to be pulling the available slots. So I'm going to be doing it using the picker, but if you were to use a variable, you would need to prompt your agent to send two variables when calling the action, one being the start of that range and the end of that range. So for example, if you only want the agent to show the next two available days, you can tell the agent to only send those two values. But right now I'm going to show you guys using the picker. So we're in February of 2026, so I'm going to pull in dates from today until next week. My time zone is going to be Phoenix since we're based in Arizona. And if I click on advanced settings, we're going to see some more options. In this case, I'm going to be able to manipulate the start and the end time of when I want those slots to be brought in. Right now, the default is 8 to 5. That's the regular hours of operations here, so I'm just going to leave it as is. The slot interval, I can leave it as 30 minutes. Slot duration can be 30 minutes, and we can exclude weekends. So I'm just going to click save. Now if I click run, then we're going to get an output, and I can see the calendar availability. I can see the date range and the actual availability over here. See, we get for different dates, for example, Monday. We can see a list of all the slots that we have available. We get a start time and end time. And if in our calendar we have an event already in place, then those are not going to be brought in by the node because are going to be marked out as busy. So now that our node to get availability is working, I want to add a last node, which is going to be a response node. And this is what this is going to do, is to basically send the agent back the information whenever they call this tool. So now I'm going to hit save. And now we're going to create our other flow. Like I said, start from scratch, and this one's going to be called book event in Google Calendar, create, and same thing, we're going to change the method to post, and we're going to add our next node, which is going to be again inside calendar, create an event. Now when I open this specific node, again we're going to add our credential. We're going to be able to select the calendar. The event title, in this case I want to call it Harmony Dental, and then I want to do something like a name. So let's say that in the title of our event, we want to have the name of the patient. Then we can add a parameter in here in which the origin is going to be body, and we can set it to name and type text. This is basically going to be a parameter that's going to be required when the agent calls the action to be filled in so that it can run the workflow. So I'm going to add another one, which is going to be called start date and end date, and also summary. And let me explain what these are going to be. So the start date is going to be the start of the event. So whenever the user confirms the time, the agent is going to have to fill in this parameter to know when it starts and also when it ends. That's why we have start and end date. And summary is just going to be a small summary that I want the agent to add to the event whenever it is created. So I'm going to hit save and come back here to our main node. Then if I click this green bubble over here, I can basically pull those values or those dynamic variables from the first node into here. So in this case, I want to add the name to the title, and then same thing for start date and time. In this case, we want to switch to variables as it's going to be dynamic. Same thing, I can press over here in the green bubble, click on start date and click on end date. And then here attendees, I want to leave that empty. Time zone, I can put Phoenix again. And then in advanced settings, we're going to add a description, which is in this case is going to be this summer. So with that, I can hit save. I'm going to add another response node so that if it executes correctly, the agent knows and gives us a confirmation back. So now I'm back here in my agent, and now I want to add the actions or the workflows to the agent so that they can use it during the call. So for that, we want to be inside our settings and go into agent actions. Now here, we're going to have the ability to add a workflow, which is just going to be a custom action. I'm going to choose the first one, which is get Google Calendar availability. Once I hit select, I'm going to be able to write some instructions in here. So here I have written the instructions, very, very simple. Search the available slots in the calendar. Always use the year 2026. Examples, bring me the 3 available slots from the first 2 available days. So with that, I can hit save. And now our action has been added to the agent. We're going to add our other action, which is book event in Google Calendar. In this one, we also need to put some instructions. So I went ahead and I wrote the instructions for this action. The first instruction here is going to be the main instructions, which are very simple. Objective, schedule an event with a person requesting availability. And then we're going to have parameter instructions. If you remember, we added some parameters to this specific start node, such as name, end date, and start date, as well as the summary. We need to write instructions for each of those parameters as well, so that the agent knows what values to send over. So for the name, very simple instructions. Say the person's first and last name, example, Angel Hernandez. And if you note here, I marked it as required, same as for the other parameters, which I'll break down right now. Having it marked as required basically forces the agent to send some sort of value. If they don't have the value yet, then they're going to ask whoever's calling for that information before they trigger the call, because we don't want to have an event that has no information in it. So that's why we have all of them on. Moving on to start date, this is a little bit more extensive because we need to send the date in a specific format that Google recognizes. So first off, I put a very simple objective like identifying and extract the event start date and time mentioned by the user. The model must take into account the current date and time to correctly interpret the information. For example, the user can say tomorrow or next Monday. So the agent needs to convert that into the format that Google Calendar understands, which in this case is this one right here, which is month, day, year format, and the time in a 24-hour format. So for that, I give it some examples of valid inputs and also valid inputs for the flow itself. The end date has pretty much the same instructions, and the summary is a little bit simpler. I basically just say that we need to save a simple description of the event. So this can include the name of the person, what service they're interested in 2 to 3 short sentences maximum, some examples, and then with that we can just hit save, and our agent now has 2 different actions that it can execute. And before we go ahead and test it, there's one last step that's very, very important that you need to do. So over here in the prompt, I went ahead and I edited by adding those 2 agent actions into it. So basically in the conversational flow section, I said how to use these tools. So for example, if the agent detects that the intent of the user is to book an appointment, then it should use the action get Google Calendar availability or book event in Google Calendar. You can also use our improve with AI functionality to basically use AI to add this into your prompt without having to manually type it. Either way, we have a community in which I share all of these resources, such as the system prompt, so that you can use it as reference. I'm going to be leaving a link down below where you can check that out and grab the prompt completely for free. So with that being said, we're pretty much good to go. Now I'm going to call the agent and open my calendar and see how it performs. So right here is my Monday calendar, and I'm going to book something for Monday, and we'll see it live.
Hello, this is Sophia from Harmony Dental Clinic. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
Hi, this is Josue.
Thank you, Jose. It's nice to speak with you. What dental service are you interested in today?
I would like to go in for a teeth whitening session.
Great choice. Is this the first time you're considering teeth whitening?
Yes.
What city are you located in?
I'm in Miami.
Great. Before we schedule your appointment, I'll need your phone number for our records.
It's 510-600-5677.
Let me confirm that. I have 510 600 5677. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Let me check our available appointments for you. I have the following appointments available: Monday, February 9th at 9 a.m., Monday, February 9th at 2 p.m., and Tuesday, February 10th at 10 a.m. Which one works best for you?
Let me do Monday at 9 a.m.
Just to confirm, you'd like to book Monday, February 9th at 9 a.m. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Perfect. I've scheduled your teeth whitening appointment for Monday, February 9th at 9 a.m. What email address would you like me to send the appointment confirmation to?
So I just ended the call there, and as you see live, I got the appointment booked here directly into my calendar. We see that it has my name in the title as well as a description of what's going on. Teeth whitening. We'll evaluate the dental history, and this can be edited to your own use case. Let's say if you're, for example, like a lawyer firm and you need to schedule appointments, then the same system can be implemented. Same thing works for any type of home services like roofing or HVAC appointments. These agents can handle all those calls and book them directly into your calendar using agent actions. So that's how you can create an agent that books appointments directly into your Google Calendar. As I said before, I'm going to be leaving the prompt so that you can use it as reference in our free community, the link down below. And if you would like to see how it can be integrated to a specific platform, let us know in the comments and we'll try to help you out by making a video like this one. So yeah, I hope you found it helpful and we'll see you guys on the next one.